All right. Damn, we still dropping frames? Let me switch it. Hold on, y'all. Damn, they got me dropping frames bad as fuck. I'm such a shit like a sensei. Yo, they doing something to my shit, bro. This is crazy. They can take your body, but they can never take your consciousness and who you really are. Let's go. There we go. This is crazy, huh? You feeling so blessed that hate gon' come. Come from the soul when I made this song. All of these demons, they hate what I'm on. All of the angels, they keeping me strong. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get this shit situated. They killing me, bro. They killing my frames right now. Like, look at this shit. All right. So, like, it's still good, but that whole, like, going back, I'm watching this shit go back, this shit is crazy. I'm gonna still put this shit out because they can't stop. They can't stop the truth. As long as my voice can still get through this bitch, cuz they can't stop. Oh, now my frame's good all of a sudden. That's crazy. Fuck it. We finna get straight into it. Now, I need the face cam for this. Switch to the face cam. I need the face cam for this because we finna get straight to it, my guys. First of all, peace to the guys and goddesses, kings and queens, emperors and empresses, chiefs and priests. Hope you're having a great cosmic night, great cosmic rising. Depending on when you catch to see this live stream after it's done and posted. I just want to show y'all down here. This was like in the fucking red. I don't know why. But now it's all of a sudden good. You see what I'm saying? So they trying to tap. They trying to clip me, bro. They trying to clip my shit. We know who they is. CIA, MI6. Them niggas got agents stalking me. If you think I ain't on a watch list, you crazy. So we finna get into it. I'm not even gonna slow down. I ain't got much to say, but I got much to say, but I ain't got much to say about shit else except for this nigga Epstein, right? So, yo, peace Zoe with the locks. Zoe, my bad. Zoe with the locks. I said Zoe. I hope you doing good, bro. Wait, let me look at your shit correctly. Yeah, okay, bad. Look at your profile pic. Make sure that's okay. Yeah, you a Brody, but what's up, bro? I hope you doing good. I hope you taking care of yourself. I'll be protecting the gays. Always keep that gaze protected. And most importantly, I hope you maintaining your peace internally and externally. But yeah, this nigga Epstein, right? So we see everything going on, with the Epstein situation, the island. But you got to remember, like, people been knowing what's going on this island. Not everybody, but, like, I say about, like, maybe... I want to say about maybe 20 to 30% of American society. No, my bad. Let me not even say society. This is a global thing. This shit going on with Epstein is a global situation, right? I say at least 30 to 40% of the global population knew what the fuck was going on that island. That includes the niggas that were on the island doing that bullshit as well. That includes them because of course they know they the ones doing it. Oh yeah, I'm rolling up this blunt trying to get shit right. But not most of the world knew though. So like people wondering like, okay, what's got them? The question we should be asking is, what made them want to release this? If they know they own people's, like, you gotta, this shit not making no sense to me. Either they're doing this shit to see how docile we have become as a society and as people in general. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to get this shit right. This shit be throwing me off sometimes when I'm rolling up. But yeah, either they're doing this shit to see how gullible we became and how soft we became, to see if they can push other shit. They can keep pushing the line. Like, okay, these niggas not outraged enough. Like, we let's be for real. We're not outraged enough about this Epstein shit. Like, the White House should be on fire right now. I don't give a fuck what is watching me, who is watching me, what patriots want to fucking, oh, he said to burn the White House. He's a terrorist. You damn right. I'm a terrorist on my own land. How about that, nigga? Y'all was the terrorists first when y'all came here, wiped out my people. You sent Christopher Columbus in first. Those was the Israelite spies. They seen the land. They seen what we was looking like, how giant we was. Then them niggas came with help and all that extra shit later down the road during the Great Renaissance, when they started discovering iron and steel and steam, steamboats and guns and shit like that. That's when they was able to put up some kind of fight, but they still had extra help from something else that I ain't gonna get into right now. But yeah, niggas want to call me a terrorist on my own land. Go ahead. You feel me? Burn this country to the ground, bro. Burn the White House. Kill the president. Whatever gets me on the watch list, I'm going to say it. I'm sorry. Them niggas need to watch me, because I'm probably going to be one of their biggest threats in the next year. But like I was saying, we not outraged enough about this. The White House should be on fucking fire. Area 51 should be getting raided the fuck out of. Every U.S. government base where these niggas is at. That includes on a state level too. All the city halls, all the is that, I think that's really much it. City halls, and the shit, extra shit they got downtown and shit like that. Mayor's office, all those places should be, not all of them, because this is where it gets tricky. Peace, Busy Bee. I see you up in here. This where it gets a little tricky, because you do have people in the government that really want those files released. They really, like, y'all forget, there's people that are living their childhoods right now, their childhood dreams. They wanted to be this in the Senate, in the Department of Defense, Department of Justice, whatever it is they wanted to be in. They're in that because they really want to save people. They grew up as kids wanting to be heroes. So let's not get that confused. Like, 80% of the government is corrupt, but the other 20% is actually legit. They actually want to do something for the people. They actually want this shit out. They want this shit. They want the whole government to be rearranged at this point. But they can't do it when the other 80% of the government is in on the corruption. So there's only so much they can do. So the reason why I bring that up is you have real people in the government that want this shit situated. This is where all your whistleblowers come, your so-called whistleblowers that come out, they say some shit and they get clapped. Or they get threatened and then they just disappear. They don't get killed or nothing. They just stay off the internet. They stop talking that truth and shit because they don't want to get killed. They don't want really, it don't even be them getting killed. A lot of people that's speaking truth and speaking righteousness, they don't give a fuck if they get killed. That's what they're doing it for. The only time they give a fuck and stop speaking the truth is when they family members is involved. When they have nothing to do with them speaking truth. They family members is involved. That's when motherfuckers step down. Like, if I'm speaking truth and motherfuckers hit my phone up and be like, hey, you keep talking that shit, we gonna kill your mama, nigga. You see what I'm saying? Or we gonna kill somebody that's close to you that you really love. And I'm not, to a certain extent, I have no choice but to kind of be quiet, because now they're bringing somebody in that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of motherfuckers, they be like, oh, why motherfuckers stop speaking truth when it's levels to this shit. So the situation with Epstein, people are now catching on to what's going on. People like me and many others, we've been knew about this shit back in 2016, 2012 to be exact. Now, okay, I ain't gonna get too deep into it yet. I still want to intro this shit real quick before we get deep into what people don't know what Epstein was really on. Yes, he was on that pedophile, sex trafficking, graping, child organ harvesting, adrenochrome harvesting, all that. But it gets deeper. So like I said, people that's catching on now, they not gonna know this shit get way deeper than just them babies being sacrificed. It gets way deeper than that, bro. It gets way deeper than that. So most of the people like me, we already been knew about this shit. We already knew about this shit with the Hillary Clinton emails, the Frazzle Drip shit, the Pizzagate. Niggas was talking about Pizzagate for years, bro. Years. Niggas knew what's going on this island for years on end since Jeffrey Epstein got locked up originally in 2008. Remember, Jeffrey Epstein has been running around under 4 different presidential elections from 2008 to 2012, Obama. 2012 to 2016, Obama. 2016 to 2020, Trump. 2020 to 2024, 2020 to 2024, Biden. And now to 2025, we have Trump again. That's 4 different niggas. This shit been going on for under 4 different regimes, under 4 different what they call them, presidential, not elections. 4 different, not elections. What they call that shit? Terms. But this nigga been under 4 terms, 4 different presidential terms. You had 2 other government corrupt incidents. You had Watergate, which is very interesting because that's kind of hand in hand with Pizzagate. And then you had another one, it was something with the Nakagawa. It was a war going on in Nakagawa. Richard Nixon wanted to fund these people to go against them, and then they sent weapons to Iran, a whole bunch of other shit. And then niggas caught down on that shit. Niggas made Richard Nixon step down and all that shit. But this shit going on, Obama should be responsible. We need a statement from him. Joe Biden is responsible. We actually need a statement from Obama because he let that shit go on for 2 of his terms. Then Biden and then Trump. And Trump let it go on for 2 of his terms as well, because this is his 2nd term. So we need y'all to say something. And Trump, you in on those files. And what's interesting, like I said, what's still interesting to me is they released these files knowing Trump was on them. Why would they do that? I'm high-kingly curious, my nigga. What made them put that out knowing the president was on there? Like I said, I think they testing us, bro, to see how bitch we is, how bitch made we is. And they like, oh yeah, we gonna see if these niggas really do something about this. Like, they testing our gangster. You think these motherfuckers ain't gangster? They're the biggest gangsters you don't want to mess with. But so like I said, now that everybody is up to par with this Epstein shit, right? Ooh. Now that everybody know about the satanic rituals, the spirit cooking, the sacrificial abuse, the organ harvesting, the adrenochrome harvesting, the slave labor too. They didn't just use them for strictly sex. They use them for work too. Slave labor. They use them for shit that they build in their private industries and shit. Yeah, free labor for them niggas. You think they not using them niggas for labor? They're using them for that. And then once you become of no use sexually or laborly working, they turn you into, or they turn them into fucking meat that we fucking eat. Where the fuck is all of this beef coming from? Where the fuck is all of this chicken? Where the fuck is all of this pork? Where is this coming from? There's not enough animals. Y'all got me fucked up. Y'all know when I get quiet like this, I'm finna pull some shit up. Right now, I want y'all to look at this. Can y'all see? Oh, yeah, y'all can see this. Let me check my stream, make sure we ain't drop frames and shit. We good. We cooking. How many cows are there in the world? There are approximately 1.5 billion of them little niggas in the world, with populations often peaking around 1.57 billion in recent years. The global population roughly equates 1 cow for every 5 people. That's a fucking lie. Anyways, there we go. Now, how many people are in the world? 8.2 to 8.3 billion niggas. That's not enough meat. Pause. That's not enough meat. That's not enough meat. I don't care what a nigga say. That's not enough meat. These people that's coming up missing, once they become of no use, they grind them up into ground beef, ground chicken, or sliced parts. You know how that you go in there, you get you some sirloin steak tips or some beef eye rib steak. That's human eye. That's human rib eye. Rib eye human steak, nigga. You think about it. Where's this meat coming from? And nigga, you gotta remember cloning. They can clone shit too. They be cloning shit. They've been cloning since the early 2000s. So that's one of the things that people are now catching up on with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, here's the shit that we get into that a lot of people I'm not seeing speak about, which is I'm probably gonna fuck y'all heads up with this theory too. I'm gonna throw out there after I tell you this shit. And I got the shit here to pull it up for you too when I talk about it. So a lot of people don't know that Jeffrey Epstein Jeffrey Epstein is a smart nigga. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just no regular schmegular ass billionaire. No, Jeffrey Epstein was scientifically smart. This nigga was elite when it came to scientific information and occultic, esoteric, and exoteric information. This nigga was not to be played with. I'm not gonna cap to you. So the reason why I say that, why was Elon Musk working with this nigga? Back in we seen the emails get dropped in the files. Elon Musk was begging to come to his island. Oh, just let me come to your island. Oh, I want to have the wildest party. I want to have the opposite of a peaceful beach experience. Try to get out there to get on them little kids. You see how thirsty these niggas is? Let me show you the emails. Google Images. I already know this on here. Bring me this shit. Open image in new tab. Why is that so small? What the fuck? I don't feel like going to YouTube for all this shit either, bro. Oh my god, I can't find it. I mean, I can find it. It's here on fucking Google Images, but all the images are fucking small, bro. Like, anyways, oh wait, what's this? Okay, yeah. Hold on. Anyways, okay, we'll use this. The other picture too small for me to use, to show you when he was begging to come to his island. But just to show you, these niggas been in contact since 9/11. 9/11. Peep that numerology. 9/11. 8/11/28. 8/11/28 seconds PM. Do you think I am retarded? Just kidding. There's no one over 25 and all very cute. I can't say shit about that. I can just only make noises. I will run. Oh, no. He said, I run and lead product design / engineering for 2 complicated companies. Moreover, SpaceX is about to launch. So this is 2013. Niggas didn't know who the fuck Elon Musk was in 2013. Niggas didn't even know a SpaceX in 2013. We didn't start seeing all this shit until later on in like 2017, 2016, going up until now. But these niggas been in cahoots. But there was another email a year prior to this where he was begging to come to his island, 2012. So, damn, why is YouTube hiding your message, bro? Oh, let me show. He said, when motherfuckers really do their research and go within, man, you will really have to detach finding out about a bunch of shit. Facts. He said sick as fuck. Yup. So in 2012, these niggas was communicating. This nigga was begging to come to his island. Now I want you to peep another thing too. A lot of these emails that y'all seeing be released with the Epstein files, these emails a lot of them took place in 2012. Do y'all not know in 2012 that's when CERN was activated in July, when we were supposed to get hit with that big ass solar flare that was gonna reset us back to the Stone Age, but somehow it missed us by 8 days. When CERN lost that, when they opened they opened something with CERN. A particle accelerator has the ability to punch holes through the quantum magnetic field, electromagnetic field, literally opening up portals, opening up doors to different realities or different energies that can come into our reality. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's why ever since 2012, shit ain't felt the same since. Niggas talking about Mandela effects. They can't remember shit because these niggas hit us with that spell. They kept us under sleep for, let's see, the planetary. We had that planetary alignment in 2021. We have another one soon, I think. I think we have another planet, 7 planet. Let me see. Yep. Planet Parade 2026. How and when to see 6 planets align in a planetary parade. So once again, the solar system is aligning up. Get ready for phase 4. We are about to, once that alignment hit, we are in phase, right now we in phase 3. Major disclosure. But, you know, I put the superpowers with it too. Phase 1, super intelligence. Phase 2, telepathy. Phase 3, telekinesis. And then phase 4. Phase 4. I ain't even gonna speak on that yet. But yeah, you know, phase 3, we're in the great disclosure. And then phase 4 is the final phase, which will be the reset. So from 2012 all the way until 2021, peep the flip on the numbers. 2012, 2021. Now that's 10 years. That's just 10 years. The Mayans said the world was supposed to end in 2012. The Mayans didn't fucking say that. The Mayans did not fucking say that. They said the world was going to end in 2021, which actually fucking happened, because look at the fucking world today. Society is not the same as it was 5 years ago, a decade ago. Things is collapsing around us. We are watching things fall in real time. We are seeing people lose their lives, their careers, and all this shit in real time from all this sick shit they've been doing. We are seeing the collapse of a corrupt system and the birth of a system made of justice. That's all we seeing right now. So from 2012, when we got hit with that CERN shit, niggas been sleep. We was sleep because in 2012, niggas like David Icke was popping. A lot of conspiracy theories was popping in 2012. I remember this shit clear as day. A lot of niggas was talking about Queen Elizabeth was a reptilian and shit. I'm like, reptilians? Niggas was talking about reptilians run the world and they shapeshift and they doing this. They eat blood and adrenochrome. Like, I knew adrenochrome about adrenochrome, all this shit for a long time. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then boom, they hit everybody with CERN, and niggas been asleep ever since. We ain't never talked about no adrenochrome. I mean, you still had the bits and pieces of few people out there still spitting that truth who didn't get hit as hard as they did with that spell of CERN. But now when the solar system, nature is now taking place in this war. With the planetary alignment in 2021, that's what woke us up out of that spell. That brought us out of that. That's why ever since that planetary alignment, everybody been woke, so-called woke, or let's just say lucid, rising in consciousness. That's all you're doing, rising in consciousness. And then we had one of the biggest people, or let me just say it like this. We had one of the biggest activists come out of our time to further solidify this shit in stone and engrave this shit in people's heads to where people are now moving with this shit, aka Rashad Jamal. One of the biggest niggas we seen come out. Everybody talking about reptilians right now, but guess who popularized that in this modern day? My boy. Nobody was not talking about that shit like that before him. And even I knew about reptilians before this nigga spoke about them. He just made me feel comfortable, like, okay, I'm not the only nigga. I'm not crazy. This nigga talking about reptilians. Okay, we on to something. You feel me? So that's how I was feeling. But, you know, he was able to grasp people in a way and break it down in a way where in hood terms or layman terms, you know, for the white folks. But he was able to break it down in simple terms where niggas can be like, this shit makes sense. Hold on, what's going on here, coach? So it's not that the shit he's bringing to us is new. A lot of this shit that he spoke on, niggas been spoke about way before him. He was just able to put a broader light on it. He was able to cast a broader spell amongst the world to a spell that will knock off this sleepiness that was put on us with the CERN and all the other shit that they doing with the V shot, the buyouts, the food, the chemtrails, the 5G tie, all that shit. They using so much shit to suppress our memory and stop the Stop the progress in the growth of our brains, because your brain does continue to grow. They say your shit stop growing at 25. Don't let them tell you that. Your shit can keep growing. The more you keep studying and learning shit, that bitch keep expanding. So that with that coming on top of that, all this energy building up, 2021, it broke a barrier. It broke the lid off. It knocked the lid off the top where everybody can look out now. We like, damn, this was really going on. Now everybody all coming out, going different ways, going here, finding this, finding that, and we all coming back and bringing this information to each other. This is the Christ consciousness at work right now. So now that everybody is caught up with the Epstein shit, Epstein was working with Elon Musk. Epstein was working with Bill Gates. Epstein was working with some of the most top-notch scientists in the world. Some of the most top-notch geneticists in the world. Because Jeffrey Epstein was going deeper with this shit. He wanted to create his own hybrid race. Jeffrey Epstein is not human. Jeffrey Epstein is one of the leading alpha draconians of the motherfucking, this reptilian species that's hiding in the shadows, throwing out all these subliminals in movies and news and books and all this shit, but you don't want to come face to face with a nigga. But you want to show up in a nigga dreams and shit. Nah, come see us in real life, nigga. I don't give a fuck if them niggas 7 foot, 8 foot, 12 foot. What? Nigga, this Glock no but. You feel me? Put them niggas out of here. Or we can run hands too. I don't give a fuck. I just know these niggas hide. But Jeffrey Epstein is not human. This nigga wanted to. Let me show y'all. We gonna start right here, right? We gonna start right here. Jeffrey Epstein. This is recent. This was this month. Jeffrey Epstein had a bizarre. He had a bizarre obsession with improving human DNA, and he was emailing with top scientists about it. Why is he so focused on human DNA? Why? Did you not know too that when around the same Jeffrey Epstein got indicted in 2020? What also happened in 2020? Well, we know Kobe died, first of all, and then Kobe was in he was trying to sue this big pharmaceutical company that putting some shit in them, because he had Kobe had like his own vitamins or some shit like that. But it was a company that he was using, a big industry that he was using too, to help him with the shit. But they was putting some in his shit that he ended up finding out that he didn't want. And then he ended up finding out some other shit too with the COVID shit. And Kobe was finna come out and expose a lot of shit. But you see what they did to him. Shortly after, this nigga is in jail, and then somehow he died. But we know he didn't die. Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Jeffrey Epstein, let's look at that nigga net worth. He had a net worth. Nah. I doubt that. 500 million? Hell nah. The way this nigga was moving, we not even gonna take that. See, we can't take these Caucasoid shit no more, nigga, because they just be lying. But yeah, I dare say he had a net worth of a couple billion, nigga, like Bill Gates' net worth. This nigga was not no $500 million ass nigga. This nigga had a whole island in. I think that's legal money. $500 million of legal money, and then the other couple $700 million was just straight illegal money. I think that's why I say that. That's the only thing I can think of. Because that nigga was worth some billions. And when you got that much money, you can fake your death. You can pay this company, that company. And remember, all your prisons are what? All your prisons are private entities. All your prisons are private entities. So we don't know what really be going on behind closed curtains, how we would a jail. But I think this nigga was in the jail, though. I don't think he was in prison. I don't know. If he was in prison, well, we know what's up. But even then, this nigga got enough money to pay whoever in that motherfucker, be like, hey, I'm finna do this and do that. I need you to do this and do this at this certain time. So that way, when it all play out, it's gonna seem like I really died and killed myself. And then what he do? Shoot to Israel. They gonna keep him safe there. Who the fuck gonna touch him in Israel? I'm just saying, who gonna touch them? Nobody get touched out there. These niggas them niggas in Israel, and remember, not all Jews bad, just the ones that eat children. Not all Jews bad, just the ones that eat, organ harvest, sexually abuse, and rape children. Them the only ones that's bad. Not all of them though. But nobody touching them motherfuckers out there. Them niggas can bomb anybody they want out there in the Middle East and not get touched. And guess who they have sucking their dick everywhere they go? America. They have, Israel is so smart. They have sent so many people into our country and made their way up in the ranks in Hollywood, the political industry, the medical industry, the military industry, whatever other social media industry. They were able to infiltrate at the highest levels over here and take this bitch over from the inside out. So that's why you hear people say, "Oh, United States of Israel." You goddamn right. That's exactly what it is, because that's who runs our country. Let's not forget the motherfucker who ran the operation COINTELPRO back in the early 60s going into the 70s. What was it? J. Edgar Hoover? He was a fucking Jew. And his whole goal was to stop the next black messiah. Why did they use that name? Why did they have to say, "Oh, we got to stop the next black messiah"? What is a messiah? A prophet, a oracle. We got to stop the next black oracle, because if they wake them niggas up, them niggas gonna turn into X-Men. Them niggas gonna turn into Super Saiyans. Them niggas gonna turn into Viltrumites. Just, we not evil though. Not the evil. Leave the evil part of the Viltrumites out. That's us though. But we have to stop the next black messiah. And they still, y'all think COINTELPRO stopped? No, the fuck it hasn't. COINTELPRO is still active to this day. They just call it something else now. They have to make sure they stop the next black messiah, the next black oracle that will wake up not just black people, but you remember, y'all forget, black influence is so strong on earth. People want to be like us, dress like us, eat like us, talk like us. Niggas want to say nigga, and you not a nigga. Stop that. Niggas want to be us so bad. They want our music. They want our clothing. They want our art. They want to fuck us. They want kids with us, nigga. Are you serious? Let's keep it $150. Niggas love us. Niggas love us so much that they hate us because of the jealousy. So let's not forget that. But our influence is so infectious that it would literally make other races have no choice but to fall behind with us. They like, damn, these niggas, hey, we fuck with them niggas. They speaking truth. And a lot of the people of other races that are in the middle class and poor class, fuck the rich white folks, the rich white Chinese folks, white Jewish folks, fuck all them niggas, because a lot of them in on that shit. But the white folks and all your Chinese, Mexicans, all them niggas that's in the poor and middle class, they going through this shit. They starting to feel what it's like to be like us. It's just, the only thing is you not getting hanged and shit and set on fire, every fucking 2-3 times a fucking month. But the way shit is, where we're headed, y'all definitely finna feel what it's like to be a slave. I'm just gonna say that. So they have to stop that. Look at Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton was bringing blacks and whites together. That was a threat. Because people have to come to a point and realize, the more we can get on our side, the more we have a chance of getting these niggas up out the way. It don't matter how much firepower they got. It's not enough. And on top of that, the military, inside the military, right now there's a whole, I can feel it. I ain't been seeing nothing about it, but I can feel it. There's a tension in our military right now because they like, what the fuck are we fighting for? If you active in the military right now, the U.S. military, whether you are a Marine, whether you are a SEAL, whether you are a Delta Force operative, whether you fucking MI6, whether you Air Force, I don't give a fuck what you is. You need to be questioning what the fuck you fighting for. You fighting for some pedophiles, nigga? That's what you fighting for, nigga? That's what you giving your blood up for? You putting you got your wife and kids at home right now on edge every night, hoping you come back home and hoping you don't die for pedophiles, nigga. Fuck do you mean? Use that combat experience to kill them niggas. Use that combat experience to perform mutiny. Turn against these niggas. Everybody that's in the military that has a righteous heart, it's time for you to turn against them niggas. Like, look, we ain't fighting, we ain't doing no more wars. Niggas like, oh, we finna go send some operatives out there right now. Nah, fuck that. I don't get, and don't get me wrong, a lot of them in the military is heavily brainwashed. They buy out of, the programming of the getting up at 5 a.m., being yelled at in the face, going through these different trainings, and a lot of that shit in the military is helpful. Because there is a lot of shit in the military that brings a man true discipline. It turns a man into a warrior. But a lot of that other shit is unnecessary. The brainwashing propaganda and shit like that to have niggas so loyal. See, that's where they get you. All the training is needed though. The push-ups, putting niggas underwater and shit. Yes, niggas need to be trained for that. Because you need to know what the hell you finna get into, nigga. And you need to know this shit ain't gonna be. Nigga, you might lose a limb, you might lose an organ, you might lose an eyeball, you might lose a toe, you might lose half your waist. Who knows, nigga? But the training is needed to have you ready for it. But the part that I don't like is having them niggas pledge loyalty. The brainwashing propaganda that they put on them young men and them older men in that military that really want to be heroes, bro. I can't say they heroes because they fighting for pointless wars. I hate to say it. I got bloodline, a whole bloodline of my family is always in the military. I got people right now active in the military that's in my family. And they will probably flip the fuck out me saying that y'all are not heroes, bro. Because what are you fighting for? Pedophiles. What are you fighting for? You're fighting another man's beef. You a grown man loading up guns, loading up F-22 Raptors, B-2 bombers, nuclear bombs, EMF, and these secret weapons that they use on the Venezuela niggas and ray guns and shit, I guess now, pack-a-punch. You loading all that up for another man's beef. Two niggas across waters. Oh, I don't like that nigga because he on that shit. Oh, I don't like that nigga because he on that shit. Well, how about y'all get in the ring and throw hands? Nah, I'm going to send about 20,000, 30, 40,000 of my pawns because this is chess, not checkers. And I got money to put these niggas' lives at risk while I sit back on my ass in my nice $50 million mansion with a multi-megaplex bunker, and I'm smoking on a nice cigar, sipping a martini. While you actively die for me, for some shit that I don't like. I hate humans, nigga. I'm sorry. I understand why Lucifer had a problem with humans. See, when you understand the depths of all this spiritual shit, bro, you can understand why Lucifer had a problem with humans, bro. I see why he did not want to bow down to these niggas when they were made, bro. You just can't deny that shit. Look what this shit is turned into. Remember, the so-called story, God and made a bet that Lucifer could make humans do dumb shit. And God was like, no, you can't. Because there's a potential in them that you can't see yet. But he didn't tell him it was a certain group of humans with that potential, though. Which would be my people. And that's why Lucifer is so hell-bent on keeping my people asleep. Remember, I understand every other race out there got their struggles. But nobody struggle harder than black people, bro. Nobody. We the kids in this, we like the kids that come into school and get bullied by everybody, bro. Even the damn teachers. How that work? How teachers bullying the student? That really goes on too, by the way. But how teachers bullying, like, what's going on here? We getting abused, we getting raped, we getting everything, and then we spend our money with all these niggas. So, and then we wonder why we so broke. Then we getting hit with all this brainwashing shit and the media, the black exploitation movies, all this shit, bro. Why is everybody focused on us? What we do? What he say fuck me for? What we do, nigga? because they know what's going on in here. They know it's something in here, and they know it's something in here in your DNA that needs to stay suppressed. This shit is beyond me. So this nigga had an operation, right? Let's go to this, right? Now this is where it get crazy. Um, this was 24th. This was 4 days ago. They just released this shit. Nobody's talking about this. Jeffrey Epstein's tissue samples ignited a fury. That's just a furor. That's just a fancy word for fury, rage, panic, whatever. It ignited a fury or a fire in the Harvard lab of George Church. And I'm not saying it literally ignited a fire. Like, niggas like tripping in that bitch. They tweaking because something they just now found this out. Among several fridges by Megan Molteni. My bad. Was it Stat News? 10 years, a decade of reporting from the frontiers of health and medicine. This is a scientific. This is like pharmacy, genetics, because I'm seeing biotech and shit. Yeah, genetics. Yeah, this is a scientific which we'll call newsletter or news output. So by Megan Moti. So among several fridges inside the Harvard Medical School, Harvard Skull and Bones. Oh, you see how I do? Hey, I wish I could play that sound bite, my nigga. Shout out to Call Me Kinfolk. Shout out to Call Me Kinfolk. I don't know if y'all watch him, but I wish I could play that sound bite he got with the 112, nigga. That's my brother. But this is Skull and Bones activity. Remember, Harvard is where the Skull and Bones, or I think it's Yale. My bad. I think it's Yale where the Skull and Bones take place. So I might be getting confused. But either way it go, them niggas got Skull and Bone members in there too. So Harvard Medical School, Skull and Bones activity already being seen right here. We could just start right here. You already see how I'm breaking this shit down. But the medical school lab of renown, and renown just means famous, of the famous geneticist George Church. Why is a church? First of all, let's look into this. George Church. Oh, this is a geneticist. Hold on. I thought this was a fucking... Oh, shit. Is an American geneticist, molecular engineer, chemist, serial entrepreneur, and a pioneer in personal genomics? What the fuck is genomics? We learning something new here, y'all. Personal genomics or consumer genetics is the branch of genomics concerned with the sequencing, analysis, and interpretation of the genome of an individual. Ooh, okay, genotype. So now we get into like behaviors and shit. Okay. we not gonna go into a whole different rabbit hole. This is something I gotta explore later, bro. This just piqued my fucking interest. This nigga was skilled in multiple fields. Development through his Harvard laboratory church and has... Oh, so he has a church. So church have labs now, nigga? What? So now that I can add on to the list. So remember, I said this before many sunrises ago, many live streams ago. All your school, your universities, and all your hospitals have underground labs. Now I'm starting to think all your churches, your powerful churches have underground labs. That's crazy work. So through his Harvard laboratory, I might be tripping. I'm tripping. That's his name. I'm tripping. Okay, so never mind. I'm tripping. We going too hard with it. The Church Laboratory at Harvard spun off in 16 biotechnology companies in 1 year. The Church Laboratory works on research projects that are distributed in diverse areas of modern biology like developmental biology, neurobiology. Now we talking about your mind and psychology and how you think and shit. Information processing, how you think, how you process shit, how you're able to problem solve. Medical genetics, dealing with medicine and hereditary disorders, niggas that get born with certain shit like Alzheimer's. I mean, not Alzheimer's, like Down syndrome and shit. They got medicines for that shit, specifically with people with those kind of mutated genetics. Aging, genomics, gene therapy, Gene therapy is a medical technology that aims to produce a therapeutic effect through the manipulation of gene expression or through altering the biological properties of living cells. This is some deep shit, man. Diagnostics, chemistry, and bioengineering, space biology, space genetics. Why would they have this shit? Think about this shit, nigga. We are stepping into a whole different domain of a rabbit hole that niggas ain't touched yet. Space biology, and this is the nigga that's doing this. He's running this lab. I don't know is he still alive? Yeah, he's 71 years old. 71. Flip that around, 17. You know that the Freemason in reverse on the gematria is set 17. Flip that around, get 71. This nigga, whew, this is some deep skull and bones and Freemason activity going on here in awards. So let's go back, right? So let's go back. George Church. We have to look that up. So George Church is a geneticist, is one devoted housing tubes of human blood and spit. So this nigga was, hold on, let's go back to the Wikipedia. This nigga right here was keeping people's DNA. You wonder where your shit be going and shit. He said, not real shit, my papa was in the army. Facts. These niggas was housing human DNA. For what reason? I have no clue. Destined to have their cellular contents cracked open someday. For what reason? I don't know. The DNA letters read out and posted to the wilds of the open internet eventually. These samples donated by participants in the Personal Genome Project. So what is that about? What is the Personal Genome Project? The Personal Genome Project is a long-term open science initiative launched in 2005 by Harvard Medical School's Dr. George Church to create a public open access data set of human genomic, environmental, and trait data from thousands of volunteers. Its goal is to accelerate research in personal genomics and personalized medicine by encouraging the sharing of non-anonymous high-quality data, aka DNA, because your DNA contains what? Information. A DNA contains, let me see, contains how much data? DNA is incredibly dense information storage, an incredibly dense information storage medium. So it can contain storage. It can house information. So with 1 gram of DNA, 1 gram of DNA is capable of holding roughly 215 to 455 petabytes. God damn, nigga, of data. That's more than your PlayStation, nigga. Your PlayStation, that's more than terabytes. Up to 455 million gigabytes of data. Do you know how many games I can download in my DNA, nigga? Nigga, I can download GTA 6 like 100 times, and that shit ain't even out yet. That's insane work. That's insane work. Yo, so think about all the DNA that makes up your body. And they tell you have 90% junk DNA. Only 10% of your DNA is, no, my bad, you have 90% dormant DNA. And the other 10% is active. So what the fuck is that other 90%? Is it all this information that we need to be going in there and unlocking? Light codes, as they say. All that information. So going back to this ad blocker. You got me fucked up. I ain't disabling nothing, bitch. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong shit. Hold on. These samples donated by participants in the Personal Genome Project. So that's what that is. People donating their shit, their DNA. And it says can sometimes sit in the lab for years until there's sufficient funding, enough money for hood niggas, until there's enough motherfucking money for them to be sequenced or for them to be basically used and then laid out in patterns. Which is why in the summer of 2013, now let's go back to this, right? Elon Musk. They was talking to each other around this time. Elon Musk, one of the top niggas right now using Neuralink, you playing with DNA and genetics and shit, along with Bill Gates. Him and Epstein was talking around this time. So Epstein, which is why in the summer of 2013, the project director of research of the project's director of research, a young scientist named Mad Ball. You gotta be fucking kidding me, nigga. Is that really his name? Hold on, let's Google that nigga. Mad Ball. Oh, Mad Ball. Scientist. Let me see. Is that his name for real? We can't find this nigga? Is that his name? Maybe I'm tripping. No, that's his name. Mad Ball. Why we can't find this nigga? What is he? Director. Okay, hold on. Director of Research. Executive at Open Humans Foundation. Madeline Ball? Is that okay? I think we found him. Mad Ball is the former director of research for the Harvard Personal Genome Project and co-founder, executive director of the Open Humans Foundation, a specialist in genetics in genetics and open data. She led collaborative efforts into PGP to advance. Okay. Oh, it's a she. So this is a woman. Interesting. Is this what she looks like? Is that her? We need to know why they don't never let us know what these people look like, gang. That's crazy work. Let me make sure y'all can see this. Okay, yeah, I can see this. So let's go back. Let's continue reading. She was unnerved. So in the summer of 2013, the project's director of research, Matt Ball, was unnerved. She was fucking tripping. She was tweaking when she learned that another member of the team was pushing to prioritize sequencing one of the samples. So this nigga was rushing to get this shit, to get one of these DNA samples released and to be used. And it only had been in the fridge for only a few weeks. Now remember, they said sometimes some people DNA sits in the lab for years. Not no few weeks, years. So them niggas said this shit was only in the fridge for a few weeks. The request was unusual enough that Ball went into the records of PGP participants, Personal Genome Project, and punched in the ID number on the sample to see what name would come up. And Lord behold, when that bitch looked, she said at first it didn't ring a bell. But when Ball Googled the name Jeffrey Epstein, they discovered news stories about a man whom dozens of girls had accused of sexually assaulting them, a man for whom Florida prosecutors had made the unusual decision to drop local law enforcement recommendations of charging multiple accounts of unlawful sex with minors. You know, all this nasty shit. And the reason why they dropped that, because guess who was the attorney general when this niggas was doing? Remember, Jeffrey Epstein was doing this shit under 4 different presidents in Florida. Guess who was in Florida as the attorney general of that time? Pamela motherfucking Bondi, who is now the U.S. attorney general of the fucking United States. This is devious work. These niggas just alley-ooping left and right. Niggas, nigga, they ain't playing no games with this shit. They just getting everybody and anybody in on this shit. Like, damn. So, and Pamela Bondi been knowing Trump for since his younger days. In a daze, they immediately packed their belongings and headed for the exit, setting off a crisis in Church's labs. It was a shock to me. I didn't even have words, Ball told Stat. It looked like a quid pro quo sort of thing, which would have been upsetting, but not super upsetting if it wasn't a bad person, but just a rich person. But this was a rich, bad person, and it looked awful. Subscriber only. You see how they do it, nigga? They won't even let a nigga read the rest of this. Some of Church's connections to Epstein, which go back more than 2 decades, have been public for years. But the Fuhrer Epstein's involvement in the Personal Genome Project ignited among the project staff has not been previously reported. Interviews with lab members about the 2013 incident and emails obtained by Stat showed that internal pushback succeeded in stopping any special treatment, but they also suggest Church learned more about details about Epstein's activity at the time he was then he was they knew this shit. They knew this shit. So we ain't finished, right? Let's slow down. Let's slow down on this. Let's slow down on this. Let's slow down on this line. All right. There we go. This is some wild work right here, y'all. Um, so it gets deeper with Jeffrey Epstein. This nigga was genetically he was trying to create something, and I think it had something to do with the corona shot. It has something to do with the corona shot. I'm trying to tie that in with that because notice when he died, that's when that shit really dropped for real. You feel me? When he so-called died and went off the grid and left the country and shit and went to Israel, that's when the motherfucking COVID dropped. You feel me? It came in. So we know that the COVID shot contains something called mRNA. It contains mRNA in it contains an mRNA of some kind of spiked protein. They call it a spiked protein. And mRNA, you can only get mRNA from living things, whether it be a plant, animal, or a human. So what I'm trying to figure, still to this day, I'm trying to figure out where did that mRNA, because I read this shit. I study up on genetics. I got the books for this shit right now. And mRNA stands for messenger ribonucleic acid. You have two different types of mRNA RNAs. You got regular ribonucleic acid, but this ribonucleic acid ends up applying for a job. And it's only two positions that he loves to apply for, and that's either messenger ribonucleic acid, or mRNA, or tRNA, which is I think it's it's trans something, but it basically receives the information. So you got one that gives messages, the mRNA. It goes in. Once it gets into your system, it enters into your cells, and once it enters into your cells, this mRNA begins to connect with other RNAs to create a new branch of DNA. Because remember, DNA is made up of two RNA strands coming together and linking linking through hydrolinks, creating a DNA strand. So this mRNA that's going in niggas' bodies from that buyout, we don't know where the fuck that came from. That had to come from something. They didn't just genetically modify that up in the lab. No. I mean, they could have with all this shit going on, but they definitely pulled that from something, put it in that, and then remember they put small amounts of HIV in that shit. So they was just concocting up some bullshit in a shot and just giving it to niggas. And they make sure to see people with something. People have something in them and they don't know what it is. And I would be concerned about that. Cause I didn't get none of them shots, nor did I get tested for the shit. Cause I'm like, is that it was fake. You could see clear as day that shit was fake. So let's get back onto this, right? We back on smack with it. So this nigga tissue samples. 13 years later. It took him 13 years. 13. Notice the number 13. 13 bloodlines. 13 hybrid bloodlines. The bloodlines that share DNA that share DNA with the reptilians. Remember, this is why so many niggas was getting abducted during all them white folks that was getting abducted during the 70s, the 60s, and in the 50s and shit. But it wasn't, they didn't have technology how we did at the time where we could catch shit on camera and shit. Like, they didn't have that. So a lot of niggas didn't believe them. A lot of niggas was gonna call them crazy, of course. But a lot of them was getting abducted and being used for genetic experimentation to create the 13 bloodlines that we see today that have infiltrated the fuck out these motherfucking, high seats and branches and positions that we see, that we have in society, whether it be corporation, political, whatever. And this allows them to basically be used as vessels. I mean, they still have their own consciousness, but sometimes they take these 13 bloodlines. They have flesh suits. They have flesh suits, and they can shapeshift. As what niggas be seeing on TikTok and shit and on YouTube. Niggas been showing this shit for years. When niggas be on camera on news and then they face turn into some weird shit and weird pattern. That's they shit fucking up. But these niggas, 13 bloodlines, notice 13 years later, these niggas is, trying to alter the genetics of humanity. Remember, they're not just altering the planet. They're not just destroying the trees. They're not just putting plastic all in the oceans. They not just fucking up the food, taking the seeds out, making everything unnatural. You think they don't want you next? That's why they're messing with genetics so much. And they're adding what with this? AI. Remember, they trying to merge humans with AI. I've been rapping this shit in my song for years. They trying to take the human consciousness and merge it with AI. That's some dangerous shit. And then when I start saying, because these draconians need an intergalactic army to take what's here to get them, I gotta stop there because niggas will start calling me crazy. Niggas be like, you watch too many movies. You talking about an intergalactic army. You talking about yes, that's why they're mass producing these Neuralink chips and they want everybody to get them. This is the mark of the beast, nigga. That's the true mark. And when niggas get that shit in them, it's over with. It's 3 different marks them niggas gotta get, bro. I mean, 2 different marks them niggas gotta get. They gotta get the one, in a hand, or I guess you could say their arm, which would be the fucking buyouts that everybody got. And then the final second part of that to complete that is the Neuralink chip. Once that shit is installed in niggas, whatever that shit is running through their system will be very much compatible with that, because they definitely put what you would call nanoparticles through the use of or combining it with graphene oxide inside that shot. So now it's getting real. When you read books like Project Lucid by Texie Mars, he tell you this back in 2001. The nigga telling niggas about what they finna do. They finna put them in shots. They finna die. I'm like, man, we're seeing that. Wow, this is so right here, right? Epstein paid for novel genetic testing in apparent effort to explore extending life. New emails show. And not only that, no, we're not getting a plans. Why they want it? Why niggas want us to subscribe to news articles? You see how they doing me? They're like, what's y'all plans? They want me to pay 41. They want me to pay 40. Fuck that. They want me to pay $30 a year for an online newspaper. When niggas pay 50. I'm so tired of this society, gang. Let me see this shit. Damn, they don't want to let nigga get in. They don't want to let nigga get refresh and like kind of scroll all the way down with it. Okay, so several years Epstein was convicted. They don't want niggas to read this shit. That's crazy work. Okay, well, we can go here. We'll go here. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I pulled this nigga up too because apparently this is another nigga named Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know how he has the same name. He should change his name after what the fuck is going on. He's employed as a quantum application. He need to change his name ASAP. I feel bad because he came up when I was trying to look up some shit for him for this fuck nigga right here. Let me see. Hold on. There we go. So Jeffrey Epstein hoped to seed human race with his DNA. This is why I'm tying that in with that buyout. This is why I'm tying it in with that COVID shot. I hope YouTube don't ban this live after I'm done with it, bro. I'm just trying to tie it in. And this was right before what? This was July 31st, 2019. This was right before COVID hit. This was right before they dropped them shots. Blah, blah, blah. Jeffrey Epstein, the wealthier financier, who was accused of sex trafficking, had an unusual dream. He hoped to seed the human race with his DNA by impregnating women at his vast New Mexico ranch. Now, yes, Jeffrey Epstein did actually have a ranch. No, I'm not disabling ad blocker. Stop. I don't want to subscribe. Are y'all gonna? They want me to subscribe, nigga. Hold on, let me disable it. Let me disable it. Pause on this site. All right, is we good? Okay, we good. So yes, Jeffrey Epstein did have a ranch. New Mexico was basically the worst, Epstein's survivors told lawmaker. Ranch de San Rafael, formerly known as Zorro Ranch, sits atop a hill near Stanley on Wednesday. There's a picture of it. That's Epstein shit. Now let's read this again. Oh, wrong one. Let's read this again. He hoped to see the human race by impregnating women at his vast New Mexico ranch. We back here. And this was dropped in 2026, 2020. This was dropped 2 days ago. And then look, I'm bringing you a post on here with this shit fucking 7 years ago. 8 years ago. This is from 8 years ago. So hold on, here we go. So it says a state lawmaker who was one of the architects of a commission investigating the criminal activity at Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch said she spoke with survivors of the convicted sex offender ahead of the State of Union on Tuesday. The women, some of whom said they had been at the sprawling compound south of Santa Fe, delivering a chilling message. They said among the things that were happening with Jeffrey Epstein, and remember in New Mexico, this is where they be seeing on them UFOs and, you know, they be all that weird skinwalkers and shit like that, reptilian, you know, that's really what that is. But this is where all that weird shit be going out there in Arizona, out there in Utah, and then Colorado, the Four Corners as they call it. And then you have something called Skinwalker Ranch out there where a lot of paranormal shit takes place. And then in New Mexico, you also have something called the Dulce base that Phil Snyder talked about. They scrubbed that nigga. They tried to scrub as much shit about that nigga off the internet. I don't care what niggas say. They got him up out of here. They definitely killed him. But the shit that he left behind, his hearings, his TED Talks, whatever, explaining about what happened in the Dulce base. The nigga got into a shootout with 8-foot grays that had ray guns. Like, that's according to him, though. Just go on YouTube, type in Phil Schneider. It's like Schneider. That's his last name. That's how he spell his last name. Well, go on YouTube, type in Phil Schneider and Dulce base and listen to what he talks about. He was basically a scientist that worked there that had level 4 clearance in that base, and that base went deep underground where there were extraterrestrials, you know, doing all kind of things down there. So the Dulce base was probably not too far from this nigga ranch. So they said among the things that were happening with Jeffrey Epstein and his whole operation in various states that New Mexico was basically the worst, and I wonder why. Representative Andrea Romero said during Thursday's recording around the Roundhouse, the New Mexicans political podcast, which is this it right here? Let's watch it. No, we're not watching a 32-minute video. We finna keep going. Romero, a Santa Fe Democrat who was in Washington the day of President Donald Trump's annual address as a guest of U.S. Representative Melanie Stansbury, said she met around 8 to 10 survivors. At least 3 have been to New Mexico, she said. We didn't really speak about specifics, she said in a follow-up. It was mostly introductions. There were lots of reporters who want to speak to the victims. We heard horrible things from different accounts. Trying to see if they can. Who died by suicide were aware that New Mexico had created a true commission to investigate allegations. So they're investigating the ranch too. So, ooh, yeah. So, yeah, this is basically them closing in on that. They're now starting to look at this. It took them 13 years to finally start looking at this ranch. Because when you Google Jeffrey Epstein, New Mexico, you got the latest news. Owners of former Zorro Ranch ordered to stop construction due to lack of permits. So this nigga had illegal workers there too, I guess. From New York to New Mexico, new Epstein files shed light on his sprawling ranch outside of Santa Fe. He had several men appear in photos on the nearly 10,000 acre. Damn, 10,000 acres, nigga. What do you need that much land for? Zorro Ranch would included a 26,700 square foot mansion. This is billions of dollars we're talking about. And here's a picture of him at his ranch. Oh, this from the and this is from the files. Look, EFTA 0003353. That's from the files. Out the files. Damn. Mm, mm, mm. Bring it to the face cam. Something's going on. And we finna find out real soon, boy. So yes, this Epstein shit needs to get disclosed. I don't care about the shit with Iran and all that. That is fake. I'm not gonna say fake because they really sacrificing people. And remember, there's a blood moon on March 3rd, the third month, on the third day at 3:33 a.m. There's a blood moon. Best believe they're about to pull one of the biggest rituals in history. Something's going to happen that day. When I seen that shit come across my news, space news, whatever you want to call it, nigga. Yeah, there's like, oh yeah, there's going to be a lunar eclipse, aka a blood moon, on March 3rd, 3:33 a.m. And I think it lasts for like 55 minutes or some shit like that, 50 minutes. I'm like, damn, they ain't playing no what? I know they finna cook up the meanest spell on that day. Notice every blood moon some shit happens. I'm telling you, you can go back and look up every blood moon and then look at the crimes or what took place that day. On God, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? So, and it's gonna be a full moon, and you know when the full moon is out and it's blood, full moon out, the crazy people out. When the full moon is out and it's blood, the demons is out. You feel me? The demons is out. That's a portal. So I don't like blood moon. I don't like the moon, period, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like the moon. It's just something about it that's off to me, bro. I don't care what nobody's saying. I don't care what nobody says. So all that shit that's going on with the Iran and da 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 da, they're just trying to stage an event. This is why they're doing this. I'm gonna tell you why. The United States needs a reason. This is no different than President Bush needing a reason to blow up those twin towers, the tilted towers. You feel me? They blew up the tilt because that's what tilted towers represents in Fortnite. That's the twin towers. They need a reason to have something bigger than that take place that will have Americans in such great fear that niggas will immediately forget about them files. Because you can only focus on what's happening now. Like niggas getting, like if we was to start getting bombed this shit right now on the East Coast, everything will come to a standstill in America. Everything. You won't even be able to go to work tomorrow because now the whole country on high alert. You see what I'm saying? The whole country on high alert. And the FBI has already said this. The FBI is already saying that the United States right now, their security team and all that is on high alert because of what they just did to Iran. And I think they killed the nigga. They said they killed the leader of Iran when they bombed it. That's what Trump said. He said it on his little Truth Social network. And now all the news, you know, every time he posts on there, CNN, NBC, they taking that and they going with it. So, you know, on Truth Social, he said during those bombings that they just did today, they killed that nigga. After him ruling for 30 years in Iran, they said they just smoked that nigga. And the FBI is on high alert for that because they feel like, you know, that nigga did say before he got bombed that he had plenty of sleeper cells moving through Americas. So I don't know. But I just know that the United States needs a reason. Israel needs a reason for this shit to get shut down. So that way niggas can only focus on what's taking place in the moment because it's taking up all of your fucking reality. Like, bombs and all that shit and war, that would you only gonna be focused on trying to survive, nigga. They need that because they know that it's over with. People know now. Everybody finding out niggas is digging deeper. Niggas is digging deeper. Now they seeing this Jeffrey Epstein shit connect. It's stretching and connected to Israel, stretching and connected to the United Kingdom. Cause this shit global. Niggas was in on this shit globally. Remember, before Netanyahu, now Netanyahu wasn't named in the files. I mean, at least not yet. Because remember, all the files wasn't released. We still got, somebody said 500 million, and now I'm hearing 2 million. But somebody said 500 million files still ain't been released. Somebody says 2 million that still ain't been. I don't know the number. Maybe it's a whole bunch. We just know it's a couple million other files that still ain't been released. So we don't know if Netanyahu and them bitches or not. But before Netanyahu, there was another former prime minister of Israel. What's his name? Let me look him up real quick. Before Netanyahu. Was it Yair Lapid? David? Hold on. Yeah, here he is. Ehud Barak. That's his name. Ehud Barak. I don't know why they try to show me these other niggas. Hold on, let me show y'all what he looked like. Ehud Barak, Hebrew, born Ehud Barak, is an Israeli former general and politician who served as the prime minister and minister of defense from 1999 to 2001. He was the leader of the Labor Party between blah 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 blah. And that's what this nigga looked like. He looked like he into little children. Cornball ass nigga. Lame ass nigga. Ugly ass nigga. Chopped ass nigga. So he was before Netanyahu, that was one of the prime ministers of Israel who was found in those files. So this shit is global. And then you remember the Jews in New York? What was this, like 2 years ago that had that they got caught with that underground tunnel up in New York? Yeah, like this shit get deep. It get nasty and it get ugly. So they need something big to take place to keep our eyes off of that shit. That's why they doing all this bullshit right now. They Mexico just blew up the airport because they killed the leader of Mexico. Why are we going and killing everybody's leaders? We just killed the leader of Mexico. We just took the leader of fucking Venezuela from Brazil, nigga. And now we just killed the fucking leader in Iran? Damn, nigga. I don't know. The CIA is on one. The CIA is tweaking. They is tweaking. Who next? Putin? If they get Putin, I swear to God. If they get Putin, I think it's time we move to Antarctica. Putin ain't did shit. Putin, I ain't gonna lie, he ain't did shit. That nigga is openly speaking to his country and telling them that we are over here eating our own people. Because they take our own people and put them in the food. This nigga is openly saying that in the public. This nigga is opening churches, ancient churches that ain't been open for years, for people to come in and see that all the prophets that were named in these religious books were black. Like this, that's like the only nigga that I can see. Like, okay, I know he ain't in them files. He ain't fucking with that shit. You dig? So why are we killing all the leaders of other countries? What is going on? And now you seen the nigga say he want Greenland next. What do you need Greenland for? Damn, it's getting real. This is an Israel takeover at its finest. This ain't just the United States of America. The real United States of America was lost a long time ago, bro. Before it was lost the moment Trump took seat in 2016. But yeah, why are we going around and killing all these leaders, bro? What is that needed for? But we know this is, like I said, this is an Israel takeover. They already took over our country, and now they're using our country by going and taking over other countries because we have the most firepower. We have the most elite technology. We have alien technology, AI. We have alien intelligence in America. That's what's going on. We have alien intelligence going on in America, and they're using that for world domination. This is like if Hitler really was really. This is if this would. This probably would have took place. It probably wouldn't have been a pedophile shit. But the same shit that's going on now is probably would have took place if Hitler won World War II. If he won World War II, we would be seeing this shit. This is what we dealing with. This is so. Like I said, they're going around taking over and they're causing events. This is the CIA at its finest. This is the Mossad at its finest. This is the Tel Aviv at its finest. Cooking up the most craziest psychological operations just so we don't keep asking more of them Epstein files. We want more. We need more. This isn't just country corruption. This is global corruption. There's so many people in those files. Millions. When have you ever heard of a court case? When have you ever heard of a sex trafficking case, RICO case, murder case, heist, a robbery heist? When have you ever heard of a case having over 5 million files? And we only got half of that. We talking maybe 10 million. I say about maybe 10, 12 million files in total. And we only got half of that. I would push it up to 30. But when have you ever heard of a court case having that many fucking files, indictments, victims? We talking thousands and thousands and millions of kids. And we talking thousands of powerful politicians, celebrities, businessmen, all that, military men from all different parts of the world, from different countries. That's why they don't want this shit coming out. And I think Pamela Bondi said herself, she was like, if we was to indict people in the Epstein files, it would cause a government collapse. That's how much of the government is in on this shit. And if there's that many files, I'm pretty sure there's other people from other governments in on this shit. And we know that Israel is one of the biggest ones that's connected to this shit. Because Jeffrey Epstein was too friendly with them niggas. And Jeffrey Epstein, he was on to a lot of shit, bro. So we need this shit to keep coming out. We need to keep begging for more not begging, hold on, chill. We need to keep fighting for more disclosure, my nigga. We need to keep fighting for more. And not just more, we need to fight for a change. We need to change. We need to eliminate the entire government and start from scratch. No more presidents. The presidential age shouldn't be 35 and older. No, fuck that. The presidential age should start from 22, 21. I don't get, because you got young niggas out there with elite minds, if they are what I would like to say conditioned properly. But it should start from a very young age, and it's just, once you reach like 40, it's time to get out of seat because you're starting to get too old. Because look at the president. Most presidents that we get ain't even under 40. They're not even 30 years old. Them niggas either 50, 60, or on the verge of death at that point. Look at Biden. What? Can we get presidents young again? Can we get a young nigga up there with a bright mind, fresh and ready? Frontal lobe is kicking at the highest degree. Can problem solve with quick reaction time. That's what we need. Eliminate that. Get these niggas out of there. Make me president. Let's establish. We can keep the same military, but we not gonna have these niggas going and fighting if I'm a president and I get smoked with another president in another country, we setting up a fade. Oh, you said what? Oh, bet. Run that fade. Nigga, come to my country or I come to yours. We set up a pay-per-view. We know the people. Your people's going to pay for this. And my people's in the country going to pay for this. And that's going to run us up some money for our countries. And boom. These niggas is more dumb than I think they are, to be honest with you. Because why don't the presidents just do it? They can make money. Just set up a scripted-ass pay-per-view fight, huh? Instead of putting all these innocent soldiers on the line. Who got families at home. Some don't got families. Remove them niggas. We can keep the same military. We can keep them niggas. We just change their minds for a whole different perspective. That's all we gotta do. And just get rid of all these old Jewish and some Caucasian American fucks out of these fucking races as well. Get them out of these seats and let's put some niggas there and see how it works. I'm just saying, let's use niggas for a change. You did put some, and we and make sure they're young at that. We don't need no old, but we need new bright minds with innovative and inventive spirits in these type of positions. When we talking a president, bro, we're talking a king. This is the king of our country. Think about it. Let me take it back to medieval time for niggas. When we're talking about a president, bro, or a prime minister, or a dictator, or whatever you want to call it, these are kings. A country is what? A kingdom. That's why in Britain they call it the United Kingdom. They call it the United Kingdom. They have what? A queen of Elizabeth or whatever. I don't know who the new queen is now. And then they also have what? A prince. Prince Andrew, who was found in the fucking files, and now he no longer the prince of fucking because he got found. That nigga got found in the files doing some egregious shit. So think of the United Kingdom. They still keep that same perspective to this day. I'm not gonna say mindset, but perspective and ancient. They keep it ancient. So that's why they call themselves the United Kingdom. And the prince is basically their fucking king. But notice the queen is the one that runs shit. They really taking our sauce. Me and my people, they taking our sauce because that's how we ran our regimes. We had a queen and then we had the prince, or aka the king, if you want to call it that. But the queen was the one that called most of the shots in that fucking regime, which is what they do over there in the United Kingdom. That's smart. The United Kingdom is matriarchal. Meanwhile, the United States of corporations, or Israel, is patriarchal. Everything is patriarchal, reversed here. Everything is reversed here. Let me get my shit right. Damn, my phone. So yeah, you gotta think about it. The president, that's our king, nigga. Get that nigga up out of here. He's not fit to be. This is your. I'm like Killmonger, nigga. This is your king, nigga. Throw that nigga over the fucking ledge, down the fucking waterfall. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Because he's not fit to be king. He's not fit to run this regime. He's not fit to run this country. He's not fit to be a leader of the leader of the people. How do you even consider yourself a leader and you playing with little kids? You abusing little kids and manipulating their genetics and shit. Mr. Trump. So we can't even call this nigga a leader. Any motherfucking president was never a leader except JFK. That's the only nigga I would say was a real president and a real American president and a real leader was JFK. That's the only nigga, real human being, real Caucasian man, not no hybrid reptilian. No, that was a real Caucasian man that really wanted better for this country. And you see, and then he was about to expose that Create a Treaty Act with President Dwight Eisenhower, literally the president right before him, that made a deal with Grays, those beings that you see in UFOs with the big black eyes. Yeah, made a deal for it to come and take they peoples. He basically sold out the Caucasoids to get abducted and be used for all kind of shit in cloning. And when JFK found that out, he was like, "Oh hell no, not me and mine." You feel me? That's how he was moving, not me and mine. And he was finna expose that shit to the world, and plus some other shit too as well. But they got him out of here. They got him out of here. We see how they did JFK. They did JFK bad. You feel me? They did him bad. The only other nigga I could think got done bad like that was Abraham Lincoln. But Abraham Lincoln, that nigga wasn't no hero for real. He kind of deserved to still get assassinated because he didn't abolish slavery. He just transferred it into a different form of slavery, which is mental slavery, the Emancipation Proclamation ass shit. Yeah. So he just, like I said, all he did was abolish. They see there's different types of slavery. They don't tell you that. They can control you mentally, but they abolished physical slavery, the slavery of labor, the slavery of where they had us in these plantations where they were breeding us, they were genetically experimenting on us, they were surgically dissecting us, They didn't just have plantations where we were picking cotton, nigga. You fucking crazy. The shit that Epstein had going, that's what they was doing back then freely, nigga. But it was on us, though. It was on us. So, you know, all the presidents, none of them was real leaders except JFK. I don't know what we're doing here in America. I honestly don't. I just don't know what's going on. We're using a money that's fake as well. It's not backed by nothing. It's literally monopoly money. We're really playing real life Monopoly. And I'm just like, damn. Like, what are we doing? We could be building pyramids right now. We could be making free energy right now through you know, what they call them, hydro generators. I think they hydro generators, hydro something. But you know, it's these big ass generators where you run water through it, and as long as water is running through it, energy gonna continue to be generated. That's why you have dams. Dams have these big ass hydro generators where they got water falling down a certain way, rushing into them with such force that push these generators at great speeds to power up cities. This is why if a dam goes in a drought and loses all its water, not only does the city lose good water, but they also lose their power as well. So, you know, there's things they're showing you we could be using free wind turbines or wind, them big ass white windmills y'all be seeing. They could have thousands of those across the planet. And we could be having free energy. There's so many things they could do. There's so many things we could do because we don't really need them. But there's so many things we could be doing. Besides the shit we're doing right now, we're as a human species. If I was an extraterrestrial and I pulled up here and I'm looking for some help and I see the shit going on this planet, I'd be like, these niggas is pointless. I would really say that. I would be like, these niggas is pointless. All they do is scroll on their phones all day. All they do is make posts all day. All niggas do is just do this, do that. They leaders is pedophiles and they not stopping it. You know, all this crazy shit going on down here. Niggas is making robots and AI to take their own jobs, and like what? Niggas is making planetary destructive weapons called nukes and killing each other with it. And last but not least, these niggas is enslaving each other. How are you gonna enslave your own human, your own fellow human? That's not no human shit. That's a learned behavior from something that ain't human. So yeah, niggas come down here and see all this shit. They will look and be like, this shit is. I mean, yeah, of course they'll see certain specks of humanity. Like, okay, these people own to something. They could probably change the collective consciousness if they push hard enough. But you know, all that this other shit they looking, they like, god damn. You call me crazy when I say this, but we could have been traveling intergalactically way back in 2012. We could have been going to planets right now. We could have been used our own sun as an infinite energy source. The sun will never die. I mean, yes, the sun does have a life cycle, but the sun's life cycle is long as shit. It's long. The sun would live longer than us. Put it like that. So we could literally be using that as a way to create free energy. Solar panels is another thing they show you. They slowly show you this shit. Like, oh yeah, we can do this, but we ain't gonna do this. Nigga, we could have a whole solar grid right now, bro. And they not gonna do that. They not gonna do it, coach. Even with the particle accelerator with CERN and shit. They could literally use that to generate free energy just off the quantum electromagnetic field alone. Because we live in an electromagnetic field. Electricity is in the air around us. What? That boy said the ancestors are fed up, rolling in their grave right now, nigga. They are turning in their grave heavy. And not just our ancestors from slavery, our ancestors from the ancient Egyptian times, nigga. Atlantean, they are turning in their grave right now, seeing what's happening. I mean, but you gotta remember too, they already foresaw this shit too. They already knew this shit was gonna come. So best believe they set in certain measures and set in certain, what's the word I'm looking for? They set certain like alarm clocks within our DNA that'll go off at a certain time to counteract this bullshit that they foresaw coming this way, which is what we're living in now. So, we could be doing so much as a species. We could be intergalactic. Literally, listen to me. We could be intergalactic right now. Am I saying we could be traveling thousands of light years to another planet? Actually, yes, we could. Whether if it's at light speed, which I still think is impossible, or you just get a ship, make a big ass ship, put people on there, and if we can master like cryogenesis or what they call it, where you freeze a body for a long time and then you thaw it out, and you basically preserve the body and thaw it out at a later time in the future, and they come back alive and da da da. It's like the shit from Fallout. Or you could just have the people on this ship, make sure they give birth on this ship. They got own the ecosystem and shit on this ship, all that shit. So that way niggas still getting proper oxygen and shit like that from plants and oxygen. I mean, not oxygen. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of it. But and then maybe have like a little thing on there with some UV rays and shit that can provide niggas the proper UV levels that their body needs to produce the vitamins that we need. It's a lot of things that niggas can think of and formulate, have kids, then these kids get older on this ship, then they take over the ship, then they get older, and then now niggas is after 3-4 generations, we on this planet. This planet is habitable, it got plants, it got fruits and shit. Now we starting life over basically. We gotta discover this bitch, explore it, but we gonna do it the right way. You see what I'm saying? We gonna do it the right way. Niggas could do that. We could literally be intergalactic right now, but no. Humans have been reduced to a hamster in a fucking wheel. That's all we've been reduced to. And we've been told all this other shit is all intergalactic travel, aliens, and ghosts, and meditation, and astral projection. That's fake. That's not real. That's only movie shit. That's just fairy tales. But they making movies about it, and then they doing this shit themselves behind closed curtains, but they're doing it through malicious means and through blood rituals. Like, miss me with that shit, bro. So, other than that, this shit, it gets way darker than just the trafficking, the organ harvesting, the adrenochrome. This shit was also about genetic manipulation, and I believe the humanity has been seeded with something that Jeffrey Epstein has concocted, because this nigga, there's something about this nigga that they can't let him die. They faked his death and moved him here. They can't let that nigga die, so he's important. That nigga, that's why I say I believe he ain't human. He might be one of them leading alpha draconians of this reptilian army, along with Lord Lucifer and his fallen angel army. So, some about him just don't sit right with me. And it's too much that he was involved in. Then he was looking, if you look into the emails, he was trying to figure out about time travel. He was trying to figure out about a lot of scientific shit, emailing a lot of top scientists, working hand in hand with Bill Gates and Microsoft, working hand in hand with Elon Musk, who is literally the world's richest man right now as we speak. He was on this nigga's, he's doing something. I believe this nigga is doing something that is going to cause a global chaos, bro. And like I said, when I see shit like this, bro, like I said, when I see shit, just show y'all one more time before I get up out of here. When I see shit like this, bro, Jeffrey Epstein hoped to see the human race with his DNA 2019. And this was right before them shots hit and before COVID hit. It just don't sit right with me. And it made me think, what did people, because I'm still been saying this shit to this very day, what did them niggas get injected to? And I'm not really talking to the ones that got one dose or double dose. I'm talking to the ones that got 3 doses in the boosters. You got all 3 in the boosters, nigga. What is in you? You feel me? What is in niggas? Hey, I don't know what more else to tell niggas. It is, we gonna see. 2026 is that year. And 2027, we really gonna find out. But 2026 is all about soft disclosure And then soon as we get ready to end 2026, we finna get hit with some of the biggest disclosures of human history. This shit gonna be bigger than the Great Flood. This shit gonna be bigger than when God sent Moses to Egypt. This shit gonna be bigger than when Egypt split the ocean or the sea, the ocean, whatever, nigga. This shit gonna be bigger than the meteorite hitting the dinosaurs. This shit gonna be big, nigga. This shit gonna be bigger than when humans first discovered fire. What's finna come is finna be big towards the end. I'm talking about towards the end of this year, because 2027 is when we get hit with the hard disclosure. Because right now we're being conditioned. You feel me? And then now Trump he talking about, oh yeah, let's release some UFO files now. Since this Epstein file shit going crazy and them shit's been released and dropping, niggas is unredacting shit. Now let's release some UFO files now. Let's get this shit out. And then Pamela Bondi, she's like, oh well, I'm still working on the JFK files and the MLK. I didn't even know Martin Luther King had files. And if he does got files, what the fuck did y'all do? What the fuck was y'all doing for him to have files? Was it something more than him just being assassinated that we don't know about? So you got 3 different types of files: MLK, JFK, and Epstein, and then apparently the UFO ones that we still in, 4 of them. So UFOs, because you know all that bullshit. It's Project something. It's Project Start? It's something, bro. But they got a whole bunch of files with videos, basically 4K HD videos of catching these crafts from, you know, all these different military bases and shit like that. So all these different files. So, but you know, the biggest ones is the Epstein, because this is dealing with people's kids, bro. Real living humans. Another grown human taking a little human called a kid and doing grievous shit to him, and they can't defend themselves. They begging for their mommy, they begging for their daddy, they begging for somebody. Some of them are begging for Jesus, because that's what they were taught before they went into orphanage. You gotta remember, think of all the orphans out there, bro. I be feeling so bad for kids, all the kids that's been abandoned for adoption and you know, or abandoned as an orphan. And you got weird motherfuckers out here that will go adopt kids and do egregious things to them. CPS is in on this shit too as well. They help supply some of these billionaires for human trafficking. Once again, look up Ali Carter about that CPS shit. So yeah, you know, this is people's kids. This deserves to come out. This needs to come out. This is not no distraction. Anybody saying that the Epstein files is a distraction, you are fucking sick. You're sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're sick. You're sick. So you tell me little kids being great doesn't need to be talked about? This doesn't need little kids being manipulated, abused, organized by are the leaders of our world. Fuck the country. World. This is a global situation we're talking about here that happened under 4 different presidential terms, 4 different kingdoms, 4 different regimes. This needs to come out. You got victims that are old now, you know, talking about this shit, coming out, and then you still got many more victims right now currently that are kids that need to be freed, bro. And that's why that sun cranking up, bro. X flare after X flare after X flare is getting hot. We had an 80-degree Christmas. I told niggas. This shit, that sun gonna keep cranking up. The more these niggas want to keep playing, not disclosing shit and not putting themselves, basically turning themselves in. These niggas need to turn themselves in to justice, to the forces of nature, nigga. They need to turn themselves in to the forces of the people as well. The natives, the aboriginals, the ones that they slaughter to create this fucked up system. You gotta turn yourself in, bro. Y'all got to. Y'all have no more time. It's up. That time, the time that y'all had was long done ago back in 2022, nigga. It's up. So, and if you don't want to turn yourselves in, that sun is going to keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter. That's why they manipulating the weather. They want to block the sun out. They talking about climate change. No, the sun is getting hot and the planet has a fever because she's sick. She's sick because you've been chopping down all her trees. That's her fucking lungs, my nigga. You've been putting plastic all in her oceans. That's her water and spirit, my nigga. Her blood. And then on top of that, you're polluting the airs. You're polluting the airs with this chemtrail bullshit. That's her mind. She's sick. And now she's going through detoxification. And the sun can sense that. The sun and the earth is connected. If y'all think that planets don't have consciousness, you have to be fucking insane. Our bodies were designed from this planet, bro. From the microorganisms. So if you think the planets are not alive and has a higher consciousness and thinking processing than us, you're crazy. The sun and the planets talk. They just don't speak how we speak. Just like the animals don't speak how we speak. But we can kind of understand what animals be doing and what they talking about and shit like that. Because it's a universal language of energy. You have to feel. So the sun knows what's going on. And it's cranking up. And it flipped the poles. The poles flipped like 2 or 3 years ago. The sun's poles flipped. Because it's now about to crank gears with this with these solar flares. So, and these solar flares they penetrate deep within to the Earth's crust. And it's cleansing the Earth. And that also, all that warm energy coming, all them coronal mass ejections and solar flares, this is causing the planet to heat up as well. And remember, water is the perfect absorber of radiation. Water can fully absorb any kind of radiation. If you was to be next to an ocean and a nuclear blast was to take off somewhere, just go in the ocean and swim down, nigga, at least about 100, 200 feet, nigga. At least about 200. I don't know about that shockwave. That shockwave might still fucking kill you. I'm not gonna lie. But to avoid the radiation and shit like that, nigga, swim in that water and go somewhere, nigga. But yeah, so all that water on this planet, the Earth is 70% water. All that rays of energy from the sun, radiation is coming down, and it's coming down. Nigga, the sky is turning purple, blue, green, and red, nigga. When it does that, that is radiation. That's radiation from the sun. You know how they be seeing the aurora borealis up north, and now we're seeing it all the way down south now. And this shit is coming in pink, blue, green, red, yellow. This shit doing the whole rainbow spectrum. Because the sun is at this max power. And that bitch is white now. I remember that bitch looking gold. Now it's white. So that's how I know it's at its max power. So now we getting hit with all these solar flares. We getting hit with all these x-rays. And it's causing the planet to heat up. And it's going to get hot. This summer will be hot as fuck. We're going to see 100-degree temps everywhere. We're going to see 100-degree temps in the north. Far in the north. That's how hot it's going to get. A lot of motherfuckers we're going to see some motherfuckers go erratic too. Like, because we know it's some motherfuckers that can't take the sun, and when that sun get to cooking they skull, nigga, frying them neurons, they get to doing some erratic shit throughout summer. So get ready for that too. This summer is going to be crazy, just like any other summer before this one. Every summer throughout the 2020s, from 2020 all the way up until now, every summer has been insane, and it gets insaner each summer. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to get hot. It's already 80 degrees now, and it's still February here in Texas. It's usually still cold around this time. 40, 50s, maybe 60s. But no, we already kicked up into the 80s, nigga. So by the time we get the summer, I'm already expecting 100, 110, 120 degree temps. That's hot. That's sauna level temps right there. Low level at least. And they can't take that shit. That shit be frying the fuck out of them. That's why they want to block the sun. So the longer they want to continue to do this shit, nature's just going to keep getting worse and worse. These volcanoes going to keep erupting and erupting. These earthquakes going to keep taking place. These tsunamis going to keep hitting these nice, rich resorts and places where these billionaires want to chill and hide at. And they can't stop. And if they want to go hide in the bunkers as a last resort, please do that. Because even in your own Bible, it says they will go in the mountains and call for the rocks to fall upon them. Dumbass niggas. Dumbass niggas. Did you not know if you hide in a bunker and an earthquake takes place, that bitch will fall on you, my nigga? So yes, y'all can go hide in y'all little rich multi-millionaire megaplex industrial ass bunkers. Best believe when them earthquakes start taking place, because the sun causes something called interplanetary shock waves. Every time we get hit with a solar flare, it causes something called an interplanetary shock wave. What is that? That's basically a shock wave that takes place in between planets, because these solar flares are like nukes but on fucking crack, steroids, and meth. So when you got the sun sending out these advanced ass nukes, basically, these shock waves travel across the fucking space, across the vast, distances of the space, and it hits through each planet. And when it hits our planet shakes. And if you can Google this, you can go look at earthquakes right now and then look at what X flares we got hit with. Every time we get hit with an X flare, look this up. Look up every previous X flare that we have gotten hit with recently, and then turn around and look at the same earthquakes that happened on those dates, and they're megalithic earthquakes. Even if it's just M flare levels, M level solar flares, those still cause at least 6.6 in the low sixes, mid sixes, earthquakes. I can't think of the level off the top of my head, but yeah, those cause low levels, low level, the low sixes level earthquakes. And then X flares, we talking 7, 8, and on up, depending on how strong the X flare was. So yeah, they can go in their bunkers. Earthquake's gonna drop the mountains right on them. They have nowhere to go. They can't leave the planet. They can't open a portal and go here. They can't go inside the planet, to the inner earth. They not allowed there. Because remember, they tried to send Admiral Byrd and his team there. When they went there, a whole bunch of shit came out, and niggas started dumping their planes down, getting their planes up out of here. What else? And you can't hide in no mountains. Hiding in bunkers and shit, that ain't gonna help you. There's nowhere they can go. It's a wrap. He said, I've been hearing rumbling for a while now. It was just 1 degree strong ends, weekends. Yeah, facts. I was thinking that the other, hey, me and you got the same mind, bro. The other day I was thinking about that shit. I was like, bro, I can't call weekdays no more. I gotta call them bitches strong days, nigga. That's crazy you said that. But yeah, it was just 1 degree strong ends. 3 strong ends ago. Now it's 50 plus in my area. That's crazy. That nigga said it was just 1 degrees. Damn, nigga. That means it was like freezing out there. Now it's 50 plus. I'm telling you, that's that heat and the Kundalini energy of the people. This realm finna get hot. Remember, they said in their religious books, God will not reset the earth this time with another flood. He's gonna reset it with a fire. And what is it? That sun. So they can choose to do what they want. They can choose to do what they want. That sun's gonna keep heating up. But until they turn themselves in, and the only reason the sun is heating up, because my people are heating up. The sun is connected to us. Our melanin is condensed sunlight. And sunlight densified on a physical level, because the sun is made of plasma. But plasma can be densified onto a solid level. Just like something that's solid can be heated up to a plasma level. It can be heated up in less densified into a plasma or a gas or a liquid. So it works both ways. So and just like they say when you look it up, humans are made of stardust. What is stardust? The dust of the suns, dead suns. So we're connected to the sun at the highest degree. We absorb the sunlight and it doesn't bother us. So when we get upset internally, that thing start cooking up externally. I told y'all, my people have built up ancestral rage, and we don't know it. We have rage that is built up not just from what is going on currently. We have rage built up from over generations of time, bro. Eons. From all the injustice and egregious shit that has taken place on us on this planet for many millennia. So, like I said, in that ancestral rage, it has to be let out in some way, and it's being let out through we're subconsciously letting it out through the environment. That's what my people don't know. We are the avatar. We are the avatar, not the avatar from the movie with the line rings. They show you the line rings in that movie. No, I'm talking about the avatar with the airbender, nigga, the elements. And now our ancestral rage is showing through nature, and we subconsciously don't even know it. We wonder why these storms hitting harder than they should. We wonder why we seeing 20 tornadoes in one fucking week instead of just 2-3 tornadoes. We wonder why we seeing 10, 30, 40, 50 earthquakes in 1 week instead of just like 4 or 5. We wonder why all the volcanoes is becoming active. We wonder why the animals is kind of attacking people more. We wonder why the sun cranking up. We wonder why the ocean getting hot. And niggas going missing every time they try to go search for some shit in that bitch. We tired, man. And it's showing. We're subconsciously showing it. We feel like we have no other way to show it. We could just show it openly right now, which we're kind of doing. We're leaning into that now. Because you got to remember, all the years of slavery and brainwashing and propaganda has been instilled in us. It's called social engineering. They socially engineered us a certain way, bro. Through genetics and through genotypes. That's what I was showing y'all earlier with that nigga, with the genotypes, because genotype plays a part in behavior genetics. And then environmental factors play a part as well, the things that happen outside of you. This is why they say the environment you in, you're bound to come up. Like the environment you're in is what's going to shape who you are. So, all that plays a part with us. So we're kind of still, that's why my new generation, we breaking shit. Each new generation comes in stronger and stronger. They don't know we have countermeasures set in our DNA. So, we came in angry. A lot of my generation is angry. That's why a lot of young niggas in the streets, they taking it out on each other. And I'm like, y'all need to stop. We have something you can take your anger out on. You can take it out on these pedophiles. You can take it out on these niggas that's doing egregious shit to children. You can take it out on these fake ass pigs that's been bullied in high school all their life, and now that they got a badge and gun, they can go around and doing tyrannical shit. And on top of that, police brutality on my people. Y'all can start there instead of each other. I'm telling you, because when y'all kill each other in the hoods, they come collect y'all bodies and take y'all organs, because y'all still have certain functional organs that ain't got hit by bullets that they take and use, and your blood as well. Because a lot of these young niggas in the hood from ages 12 all the way up to 20s. In their 20s, and them organs is fresh. That pineal gland is still fresh if you ain't got headshotted. They taking it. You think they just throw body parts away and shit? No, they either taking and using your shit or they putting it in the food. It's that simple. It's that simple. They not letting that shit go to waste. And they don't tell you that cannibalism is legal in America. It's only one state cannibalism is not legal in, and that's Idaho. I don't know why. But all other 49 states, cannibalism is legal. And I'm like, bro, how's cannibalism legal? That means you would have to get somebody's dead body and eat it. Or that means you would have to kill somebody and eat them. I can show y'all this right now. Y'all, before I get up out of here, I'm supposed to get up out of here. Hold on. I'm going to show y'all this last thing and we for real up out of here. But I just got to show y'all this. This shit is crazy. It says cannibalism is generally not explicitly prohibited by a single specific law in many places, including the U.S., but it is effectively illegal due to laws against murder, corpse desecration, and bullying/selling. And buying/selling, aka human trafficking, organ trafficking. Even consensual cannibalism is prosecuted as consent does not legalize bodily harm or homicide. But here we go. Hold on, side. So it says Idaho right here. Idaho is the only states in the United States with a specific law expressly prohibiting cannibalism, enacted in 1990 as Idaho Code Section 8-5003, punishing the ingestion of human flesh and blood with up to 14 years in prison. While not explicitly banned by statute elsewhere, cannibalism is effectively illegal nationwide due to laws against murder, but it's other 49 states There are no federal laws banning the act of eating human flesh, but it is impossible to commit acts of cannibalism without violating other laws. Mutilation, murder, or transport of bodies. That don't even make sense to me. How is it legal, but y'all saying you can't do it though because you would have to do this, and do that? Ain't that's what y'all doing right now to these little kids? And then they trying to make they trying to make pedophilism legal in America too. Remember, the legal age limit for a child to consensually sex with an adult is the age of 16. If they could push it back to 9 years old, they best believe they goddamn would. Other states, they marry kids as young as 7 years old. In not other states, other countries. I'm done, man. All I can say is 2 hour live of straight grease. This shit get darker than Epstein, bro. It get darker than what he was just doing on the surface. This is the tip of the iceberg with the organ harvesting. The journal people been knowing about that for years. The rest of society, the bots is just now catching up. Now let's get into the game. Now let's really play the game. We just did the tutorial. Now we finna play the game. And this shit on max difficulty too. You can't change it. It's on hardcore mode. Because we finna find out some shit. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. More importantly, I value y'all. And like always, stay in tune. Because I'll be back with another one. Always do your own research. Don't take what I say or nobody else say on the internet and run with it. Everything I say is just a theory. Everything I say is information that I pull up and that's been stated by news articles, scientists, philosophers, psychologists. That's what they say. I'm pulling up shit they saying. And anything that I say, theory, hypothesis. But other than that, always do your own research though, because your own research remember, like my nigga FYBJ Main said, when you do your research, it hit different. When you do your own research, it hit different. I'm telling you, always do your own research, nigga, because you're gonna find out something else that I don't know and nobody else on this planet know. You're gonna eventually find something else out. Well, I ain't gonna say that we don't know, but like you're gonna find something else out that nobody was paying attention to, and now you can bring light to it. You feel me? You can bring light to it. Now everybody like, oh shit, we didn't know about this. This been going on. You feel me? So, hey, I love y'all.